Greetings viewer, likely you already know what Ruby Gloom is. If not, then I suggest looking into it yourself, since this video is not meant to be an introduction to the franchise, but rather a follow-up. In this video I will talk about obscure media and the search for lost media for Ruby Gloom. I won't be talking much about the merchandise as I feel like it's already been discussed and also doesn't interest me. I will get the most surface level things out of the way. The Ruby Gloom Bible. No, not like that, like this. In the Ruby Gloom books. The Ruby Gloom Bible is just the Japanese physical release with all of the episodes from the series plus some extras. Next is the Ruby Gloom books as follows. Here is a picture I made for it, and I was too lazy to read over the names in voiceovers. They feature early concepts of characters, as well as a character named Jealousy. From what I've heard, she was supposed to be a bratty prick, a real shitfuck. Sorry, I did that to deter the kids away. When or if a revival releases, it will not just match with Western audiences, but Eastern viewers as well. An example of that is how Ruby Gloom held a large popularity in Japan, where there were tons of fans on message boards creating art and talking about the show, and even events. One of these events in the 2008 the Kawasaki Halloween event featured a performance and was led by Nanek Dade, a Japanese singer-songwriter, front woman of the rock band Teenage Kissers. She also pursued solo success as a model, actress and fashion designer. Nane performed the ending theme song Siren and gave a promotional interview. I did not find any English translation for the interview, so I did it myself, and it can be found in the description of the video. I won't include it since it doesn't mention anything of note relating to the video. The interview itself captures Nanek Dade answering questions role-playing as Ruby Gloom. She also released a CD containing both Siren and a single which is called My Treasure, which contains the instrumentals of both. As previously mentioned, Siren was the ending theme to Ruby Gloom and there was a behind the scenes of its making, but the footage of the behind the scenes itself has vanished. The production is remembered, yet the record of its making is lost. It was streamed once from March to April 2008 on Sony Music Pictures. Only 2 screenshots exist. I decided to search myself, which proved to be fruitless. Checked on YouTube, Sony Music, the website itself, Nico, searched on Yandex, changed the network location, keywords, re-engineering code to see if I could force myself to view the music video. Nothing. There was also a Ruby Gloom cafe in Japan that once existed. It featured decorations from the show, exclusive merchandise, and a menu inspired from the series. Honestly, going to this cafe on a date would be hella aura. In 2009 until the early 2010s, Ruby Gloom was hosted on Cartoon Network Japan, which I tried looking on the Cartoon Network website, but alas I didn't find anything, unless I didn't look hard enough. But perhaps one day I or one of you will find something of note. That is what is notable with Ruby Gloom's influence in Japan. Ruby Gloom has a few scattered more unknown media that isn't widely known unless you're a big fan of the show. One of these being the alternate theme song for Ruby Gloom performed by I have no idea and nobody else really knows. It is said that it was probably sung by the voice actor of Len, Jeremy Harris, though this can't be proven. I hoped for that section to be longer, but there really is not that much to say about the Ruby Gloom alternate theme song. It was made prior to the release of the Ruby Gloom show, which got me interested in what Ruby was like pre-show. Ruby Gloom pre-show was certainly different, being made for young adults with a more drab, melancholy appearance, but still so happy that she could just die. There is not much media of her pre-show other than merchandise and the books, but one that I would like to bring up is her appearance in Teddy the Evil Teddy, which I happen to own a copy of. Teddy wakes up at the mercy of Ruby after having too many mojitos, and passed out halfway through the next town, which happened to be Gloomsville. Ruby then decided to troll the Teddy by using MK Ultra to make him say things that he doesn't want to say. Then two sexy nurse NPCs spawn and proceed to give the touch to Daddy. Lucky bastard. And he then realized that Ruby was just trying to get him some bitches. I originally wished to discuss more about the Ruby Gloom websites, but it is as dead as it looks. However, I received a message from James Goosebumps, someone I met at the Ruby Gloom fan Discord server. Apparently, on his end, he is able to load in more images than I did, meaning some images may be lost simply due to a bad gateway mirror. No matter the browser or network location or even device was I able to view these additional images. He in addition streamed it for me to show me how the website looks for him. So this gave me a really dumb, borderline, illogical idea to reverse engineer the code that the Ruby Gloom website was made with in hopes of forcing more images to load in correctly. Though this could be fruitless because Wayback Machine sometimes doesn't save images. And if it doesn't save images, then it is gone for good, even if you have the URL to the original image. Downloading the page doesn't work as it just gives you the missing images. And how I could tell is simply by how tiny the file size is. I managed to get one page working by this reverse engineering method, but nothing else came of it, until I can find a better way to use this process. I don't believe this can restore the forum posts, however, which is one of my goals, because they would be on separate pages and those alas will not appear if it's not saved. However, with pages that are incredibly broken, we can at least in theory fix most of them by reverse engineering. It was through this process too that I was able to uncover most of the SWF files and a bit more, which I will provide in the description. In addition, there were some things I missed in the previous video, such as Ruby Gloom fan sites. Some of these include geocities.com/rudygloom, Ruby Gloomed, Ruby Gloom fan listing, and private parts of Bloody Mary. So metal. I did not mention the Japanese Ruby Gloom websites, which are still up, though pretty broken. This interests me. The Ruby Gloom games. None of them are entirely official, the most well-known being this Russian one made using Gamemaker 8. It even follows a story I'll read out. Frank and Lynn were invited to play at the Gloomapalooza concert. They decided to invite all their friends. Misery got sick and couldn't go to the concert with everyone. Ruby walked with her friends to the train and said she would return to Misery. Frank and Lynn were sad, but they understood that Misery couldn't be left alone. Ruby wished her friends good luck and went back home. And at that moment, Bunny decided to take revenge and steal Ruby's piggyback. The controls are basic and feels very slow, using standard arrow keys, but the gameplay is some fuck-ass AIDS. This shit makes ET on Atari look like fucking Half-Life 2. The controls are stiffer than even Drago's Morning Steel. The graphics, yeah, they're ripped straight from the show, so at least they don't look completely like horseshit. The music's obnoxious as it was the shite original idea for the theme song. This game is more difficult than listening to country music if sung by Nicki Minaj. Playing it doesn't feel like fun. It feels like community service. Like scrubbing piss off the barroom floor after a beer bachelor party. This game plays and feels like if Misery was on ether and battery acid, then made this game while touching herself. This video won't include the full gameplay, but that doesn't mean it won't eventually come on the channel. This game still has its page up, but the download is dead because it was hosted on Mega Upload, due to which the game was lost until 2016 when a YouTuber, Purple Maple Leaf, found that she downloaded the game before the original link died, and it was just sitting on her hard drive. She posted the link on her YouTube video, check it out if you want. Toggo is a German TV program that hosts cartoons from around the world, including Ruby Gloom. On the website, two games existed, Ruby's Party Room and Save Ruby's Diary. Just these two screenshots are found posted on the Lost Media Wiki forum post, and later a more high quality image found by KigortheRobot on a Japanese blog. There is also gameplay footage of Save Ruby's Diary and what could be Ruby's Party Room or a separate game, but that still has to be verified. When I was searching through the internet, I found a game compilation disc by Toggo, which featured Ruby Gloom, so I thought the game would be there, but it isn't. It's just a screensaver. I looked through its data to confirm and copying, hoping to find the remnants of the Ruby Gloom game, but nothing. To say briefly, there are other things I have not mentioned, such as the Ruby Gloom test animations and the mighty fine sample animation created by Alligator 2 Productions on 2012. I do not have anything of interest to say, but I thought I would say that they exist. The sample animation having a bit more of a larger story though, which I won't get into the video as it's kind of unrelated. I wanted to find some of these lost media, so I began the investigation and research. I at least wanted to find one surviving forum post, or the Lost Ruby Gloom in the Making video for Siren, or even better, the Flash games, or maybe just something different. Thus I began the search. This section was going to be longer, and in my script it was pretty long, but I feel like I could do better by summarize it, so this part is very unscripted, so please pardon me. Some examples of things that I've done in the search was I defined what was missing, which making this video it wasn't entirely hard to do. Next I checked the archives like Wayback Machine, which it's simultaneously both a graveyard and a map. One capture is broken, but another can reveal fragments or images. Images here, file name here, and you must compare across years. Extract URLs from a hidden CSS or JavaScript, practice them against mirrors, and even if an image fails to display, data may still exist stranded in a directory somewhere. Another place where I did check was physical media like DVDs, whether North American, Japanese, German. They each have like category numbers, barcodes, editions, sometimes extras can be hidden. I data mined all of it, but be on the path to find something a bit promising, but still I didn't really find anything of note. Especially data mining DVDs is a bit pointless. I checked on forums in Russian, German, Japanese blogs, went on places like LiveJournal, like searching for file names, any type of description to reveal anything, but nothing that we haven't already figured out. I used browser debuggers to force load missing images, SWF files, and Flash decompilers to extract hidden assets, resource manifests to reveal file names in subdirectories, and using like things like Old Games Finder to confirm disk contents. I also done the aforementioned reverse inspection of code, checked embedded paths, checked strings left behind by developers even when the front end was gone. Pretty much just constantly adapting and changing my vantage points, changing regions, variants, authors, availability. If a file is missing in one mirror, it may exist in another country's cache. What I did was a process so that I could define a search, compare, verify, extract and preserve, repeat. It was a cycle without an end, and unfortunately not much has been found, but I will continue searching. This video took time more than expected. Every detail logged, every lead followed, yet little found. Sometimes I think, is it useless? Is time being wasted here? Likely, but there's always a possibility of something appearing. I can't really guarantee this will continue as a series. Continuation depends on the resource. If I, or someone else, uncovers something new, the case grows. The analysis resumes. If not, it remains closed. The path ends here for now. The files rest, the evidence rests until a new fragment emerges. The Ruby Gloom investigation will remain still, waiting, silent, resting. In the description, I provide some resource including a video that I believe explains a lot of the subject here, but with more detail. A commenter suggested for my next analysis I should investigate jibber jabber, lost media. I will not do so much as even look at this shit. I want to remain here. You're on your own.